1, 2. Here we go. It's my time to rise. It's my time to shine. It's my time to live. It's my time to fly. It's my time. It's my time. I can see.
Welcome to Master the Science of Business, WMSB Radio, where mastering the science of business is our business, because we know it's our time to shine, bringing to you live successful business owners from around the world, sharing best and worst business practices so that you and I can avoid the pitfalls that may lead to failure and benefit from the wisdom of their success. It's our time to shine, y'all. MasterTheScienceOfBusiness.com. Welcome to yet another Mind and Money Matters live show. It is a live show under Master the Science of Business, representing the Ministry of Trade and Commerce. And we are continuing in our third session of our fourth season with the Ministry of Information. And boy, do we have a packed show for you this evening. What we want to make sure that we reiterate to you each and every week, that we are coming straight out of Message to the Black Man, and on page 174, where the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us how to pool resources under the heading of the economic blueprint, how to collaborate with one another, how to find individuals of like minds who are interested in the same things that you're interested in, and working together. We were not put on this earth to work alone. I know it's comfortable. I know we feel like, whew, I don't know if I could deal with this one or that one. Is, too many different personalities. I could just get it done all by myself. It seems like we can, but we would do a much better job working with one another. There is somebody out there that Allah has prepared for you and you for them. And so that you can work together with like minds. And with Mind and Money Matters live show, myself, Brother Jahi, and Sister Sandy, we work together to bring to you each and every week without fail, unless it is, we missed 2 weeks last year. We plan to miss 2 weeks this year, as we take off for Savings Day, although we do a special broadcast generally during Savings Day. We go through the vending area and bring to you some of the vendors who are out there. And I believe it's going to be like just absolutely amazing this year, because I've been looking at our presentations on Facebook and Instagram. Many of us have stepped it up a notch. Praise be to Allah. I'm so excited to see the business endeavors that we have entered into, bringing food, clothing, and shelter primarily. However, we also have a group of us who are in the business of information, in the business of health and human services. And so without further ado, I'd like to bring to you our dear brother Jahi, Mr. Communicator Muhammad. He is our human GPS fact finder, personnel organizer, and trainer. He is the owner and founder of Falah Worldwide Seminars and Training. Brother Jahi, Mr. Communicator Muhammad, with the word on the block.
Assalamu alaikum, business scientists. How's my sound, Sister Shireen? Am I coming through loud and clear?
You are.
Oh, praise.
Visually clear, audio clear.
Okay, fantastic. We had a little issue yesterday when I was on with Sister Sandy, so want to make sure everything worked out all right. Well, welcome back to the third episode this month of Mind and Money Matters live show. As we begin our fourth season, this is the beginning. Who knew when we started this venture 3 full years ago that we would still be at it every Monday night? And we want to thank all of you who have tuned in at some point. We have a few people that have been with us since the beginning. So we definitely want to thank all of you all, and it would be a great help as we get this word out. This is a project of our company, Mind and Money Matters. Live show is a project of Master the Science of Business, LLC, which is the company that I am a co-managing partner along with Sister Shireen and Sister Sandy. And our purpose of forming it is to be informative through various platforms. This is one of them. We also do seminars, workshops, one-on-one consultation to help us overcome the fears that keep us, the 9 malignant symptoms, of which fear is one of them, that keep us from going after that which we say we want to have. So if you have interest in how to overcome those 9 malignant symptoms of unpropitious willow, you can give us a call at 404-438-3156. And I know you have never heard that word before. I know you haven't, because it's a word that I coined 22 years ago. So but we've been diligently striving to put it on the market. We have put it on the market. Few of you have heard it. Some of you have invited us in to do the presentation at your organizations, and we're still available to do that. That's the purpose of this platform, to help us overcome. And we have been blessed to bring into our sphere, as well as your sphere of influence, those that are doing what it is that you say you're interested in doing. So every month on this show, we highlight one of the 9 ministries that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan advanced to us in 2005 at the Millions More Movement March in Washington, D.C., where 1.4 million people showed up. Have y'all noticed every time the minister do something in Washington, D.C. on the mall, he bring 1 million people with him? That's one of those moments like Arsenio Hall used to do. I know a lot of other people, we don't expect our enemy to talk about it. That's why we have this platform, so we can talk about it. Every time the minister has gone to Washington, D.C., 1995, 2000, 2005, 2015, 1 million of us have shown up on the 1 million plus have shown up on the mall area with them. But this series, this episode, this show, let me calm down. This show is designed to help you get the word out about what it is that you do. And so if you would like to be a guest on Mind and Money Matters live show, just email us at mindmoneyshow@gmail.com or call us at 404-438-3156. And you must leave a message. By God's grace, we are being pretty productive this time of the year. All of us have a lot of things going on. Our customers, clients are calling and putting us on their schedule. But I guarantee you, if you call and leave a message at 404-438-3156, one of us will return your phone call within 19 hours of you leaving that message. So just
Are
want
you
to
sure it's only going to be 19, Brother Jahi? Like, really? Is it 19? 19 hours, 19 hours, 3 minutes and 27 seconds?
Now, this one we're going to put within 19 hours.
Oh, within 19 hours.
Within 19 hours. That prepositional phrase, within 19 hours. You will, if you leave a message. You have to leave a message, though. Otherwise, if you call and thinking that someone will see it in the call log and give you a call back, you may not receive that message back or the return phone call back. As we always do every week, too, this is information month. So we must talk about the greatest source of getting your current event information, and that is the Final Call newspaper. This is the latest issue of the Final Call. It has the acts of kindness. The acts of kindness is on the cover. Run to and get your issue, your current issue, which came out last week. There's another one that comes out tonight. So if you subscribe to finalcalldigital.com, if you subscribe, you will get your copy via the link on Monday evening, early Tuesday morning. But the actual physical copy of the paper comes out on Tuesday, and make it to most cities on Wednesday. So we have another podcast. Please feel free to join us on Thursdays, where we discuss the topics in the Final Call newspaper, and I'll give you more information about that before we leave. But I see our guests are anxious and ready. One thing though, I must mention, Sister Sharina and Sister Sandy. This today is January 21st, and the whole country and parts of the world are commemorating Dr. Martin Luther King's birth anniversary. He would have been, had he not been assassinated by the government and still been with us, he would have been 90 years old today. So there's been a lot of reflection going on about our great brother that we had in our midst that was violently taken from his wife and 4 children 50 years ago, almost 51 years this year. And the Acts of Kindness article of paper, and in it is a dynamic article about our dear brother, because he definitely displayed that demeanor. So I know there was a lot of things happening here in Atlanta right now with what a lot of people are going through with the government shutdown, which is affecting the 800,000 employees that are part of the federal government shutdown. However, keep in mind, those employees have family members. So if you multiply that times the average of 4 people that they're feeding, that gives us 3.2 million people. Now, Brother Emilio, something I saw in the paper that I have not heard any news outlets talk about, those are just federal employees. There are approximately 2 million contractors. 2 million contractors. Contractors are not considered employees, but most of them work 40 hours or more for these governmental agencies. They just don't partake of the insurance benefits and some of the other perks that you would if you were a part of the company. So that's 2 million contractors. Multiply that times their family members. If you did 4, that would give you another 8 million. So in total, approximately 11 million people are directly impacted. So let's keep those that we know, or even those the ones that we don't know. Let's keep them in mind. So as I wrap this up, people apologize for going longer than my allotted time. But we had a pop-up community event today with Hosea Feed the Hungry. Those of you in the Atlanta area are very familiar with Hosea Feed the Hungry, also known as Hosea Helps. We usually do a dinner on today, but because of all the other things that are going on, we did a pop-up community event, and we didn't get a chance to market it like we wanted it to. However, there was still well over 200 families that came out to our location today by God's grace and were able to get food boxes and a snack type meal, some clothing, blankets, and those types of things to help carry them over. Now, Wednesday, mark your calendars, everyone. You know someone that is deeply impacted, whether they have a job, they're unemployed, but they need some additional assistance. The 17th annual Hosea Helps Martin Luther King Jr. Day dinner will be Wednesday, January the 23rd, from 10 o'clock a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. at the Georgia International Convention Center. If you're in the Atlanta area, that's the huge facility in College Park, Georgia, right by the airport. Only criteria is that you get there. And even if you can't get there, there is we have a delivery, home delivery service for especially those who the older people or invalids or those people like that. If you can't get there, call 404-753-3353. That's 404-753-3353. and get your name on the list so someone can bring you a dinner or and other information that you may have. And thank you, Sister Shireen, for putting that up there. We do need volunteers as well. It is a regular work day, so our normal volunteer pool has been cut drastically because people will be working. But if you have the time to volunteer, go to the number 4 Hosea, HOSEA, the number 4 Hosea, Hosea.org. So that's my bit right now, and I'm delighted to see the second in command of the board when Sister Shireen is off trapezing around the globe, you know, hanging out in Milan or Dubai or Torino, Italy, or the Bahamas, or any other places she feel like. See, she doesn't travel like Brother Emilio. I got Pikesville, Kentucky coming up. I have Pelahatchie coming up. I have Decatur, Illinois coming up. I have Tyler, Texas coming up. See, I get to go to exotic American cities like that. Not these countries. So when she is away, our dear sister, Sister Sandy Buford Muhammad holds down the boards. But in addition to that, she is the mind component of the Master, the Science of Business.
That's right.
LLC and the Mind and Money Matters, the Mind and Money Matters portion of our show. She and her husband are the proprietor of Soul Wisdom International, where you need your shea butters, which I do need some, Sister Sandy, shea butter and some soap. I need soap. This soap that I've been using lately, I do not like it. So I will be stopping by that location in Forest Park, Georgia, to pick up my soap. So please welcome Sister Sandy Buford Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Namaste. Peace be unto you. What's up? Ashe. Hotep. Did I say I'm all right, Brother Jahi? Because I get them mixed up sometimes. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Hotep, yes.
Hotep. Hotep. For the audience who's ridiculing me as I say that word, y'all know what I'm trying to say. I am so excited on this show. This whole month has been phenomenal. Just want to read something to you real quick. Statements or show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of Mind and Money Matters live show. The material provided by Mind and Money Matters Radio is for educational purposes only. Mind and Money Matters live show does not warrant or guarantee the accuracy, adequacy. I always do that with that word. I got to get this recorded, y'all, when I've said it real nice. Adequacy. Everybody in the audience say it with me, and then you'll see it's a tongue twister. Adequacy. Adequacy. Woo. Quality, validity, completeness, or suitability of any information for any purpose. Listener is encouraged to do their own research. Sister Shireen, let me hear you say the word adequacy.
Adequacy, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I'll work on that off screen. Praise be to Allah. So when I get to that word, I'm going to stop and pause, and I'm going to have Sister Shireen say that word. Oh, wow.
I think it's the rhythm and flow all together. You know, you trying to roll it all together.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So
Allah. Okay.
Your tongue is still caught up in the last word.
In the last word. Accuracy. Got it.
Adequacy. Right.
Oh, well, we're going to pre-record that with Sister Shireen.
We got a studio date because we do the intro. And
yes.
We have a studio date coming up so we can, when we go live on YouTube, some of the introductions will be slightly different. Okay? Y'all looking forward?
That's how we do it, y'all. That's how we do it.
Yes.
Sister Shireen got us guiding in the right direction. That is why, as what she said at the beginning,
I'm just trying to.
She's following instructions.
Right.
She's following instructions. So we got her on that part, listening to Allah on that part.
Yeah.
And Brother Jahid listening to Allah on the other part. See how beautiful it is when you work in partnership? I love this. So, at Soul Wisdom International. There are a few things that are coming up. Sister Cherie got one up on the screen for us. Oh my goodness.
Listen, let me tell you, when I saw this flyer, Sister Sandy, I was like,
Yes.
my girl is stepping in. Do y'all see her out there like this with her hand up? Like that's she looks absolutely like she's ready to take
Praise be to Allah.
I don't know. She coming for you.
Praise be to Allah. Listen, I don't know about that. Your sister is just a humble servant. I'm telling you, that's it. That was a shot that somebody caught while I was in the middle of talking. I'm glad they didn't have one of them other faces that I make sometimes. That was a pretty good one. But that's all that is. Tremendously humbled and excited to be on the show with Shay the Don. Invited me to be on her show next weekend, Saturday. I'm really excited about that. It's one of those shows that is gonna really be good to receive the energy from a Muslim perspective. If any of our audience have seen that show, I'm gonna do my best to bring a little different twist to it. They are a younger group of aspiring radio hosts, and they do a phenomenal job. I'm just gonna bring a different taste. So make sure you stay tuned for that broadcast. It will be broadcast live via Facebook. I believe it's also via YouTube, but I think the information is right there on the bottom for you all to catch that as well. Brother Jahi mentioned something before I pass the mic to our beloved producer, Sister Shireen. He mentioned something about the government. And in the Nation of Islam, according to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's program, and as being reminded to us by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan about the importance of doing for self. It is not a foolproof plan. However, it does enable you to prepare yourself a little better when it comes to you being responsible for making your own financial wealth. It also has a lot to do with investing back into yourself so that you can avoid some of the pitfalls of working with someone else. What that does, our prayers go out to all of those families who are affected by this. However, in the Nation of Islam, we have been told to be prepared. So I'm speaking to myself as well, doing all that I can to prepare for this that is already here. We've been warned. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been warning us since he's been in rebuilding the Nation of Islam. He's been warning us. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad warned us about the fall of America. If you have not got that book, make sure, and I have it. I'm not going to leave my space. I know one of us have that book to show you on the screen before it's over about the fall of America. Okay, Sister Shireen's going to get it for us. The fall of America. Read this book. It is talking about the time that we have been in and the time that is actually it's showing its head now. It's crowning. This is the time. Yes, Sister Shireen has that book for us. So we've been warned about the fall of America. So this is to help us to prepare. Yes, Sister Shireen has that book. Prepare us. Now, there's one last thing I wanted to share as well. There was an article that one of my co-hosts, either Sister Shireen or Brother Jahi, sent out to us this week. And it was talking about the importance of, if you have a 9-to-5 job, how important it is for you to have a side hustle. When events like this happen in your life, in your business career, that you've gone to school for many years to study and have gained a position in somebody's company as your career, it is always good. Never forget that you and I should have a side hustle. We've coined the phrase sidepreneur. Make sure that you have something on the side that you can still feed your family with that's not tied to this system per se. So those are the words that I wanted to share. Oh, and one last article, one last advertisement, Sister Shireen, and that is for the Heaven and Me Spa. We have the Heaven and Me Spa every month, once a month, and this month it is coming up next weekend. on the 26th and the 27th, and it will be located in Fayetteville. We'll have that up before the show. There we go. That is the Heaven and Me Spa, which is authored by our beloved sister.
Get to go? Because I want to, you know, take care of the Heaven and Me. How do I?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So
is this one still open for families?
This one is open.
It was husband and wives there as well.
Yes, ma'am. So Sunday is for families. Saturday is for just the sisters. Okay. It's just for the sisters. And I'll make sure that I post that particular flyer on our Mind Money Matters Show, Master the Science of Business Facebook page, so that you can go on there and you can click. Saturdays are for the sisters. So brothers, if you have a sister, if you are in the bad house, I ain't gonna call it the other house, but you are in the bad house and you can use your wife, your significant other being pampered and making her feel like she's in heaven. This is a phenomenal opportunity to do that. And it's very inexpensive. All of the services are at great discounts. If you were to come to any of us in our private practices, you would pay at least double the amount. So we are gifting this, so to speak. We are doing it in such a way, Sister Kava Muhammad is doing it in such a way that it is affordable. You can be pampered. You can be loved on for the weekend. Saturday is for the sisters. Sundays are for the family and the couples. So thank you so much, Sister Shireen. Oh, my goodness. All right. So I'm going to move right on into introducing our beloved sister who you see on the show every Monday, doing what she does that only she can do. However, she is so much more than just this beautiful, smiling, bubbly face that you see here on Monday. She is a man up, which is manning up with more awareness and understanding that knowledge is power and ignorance is not bliss. It is costly. I think she borrowed that from my mama, y'all, who we love. I know she's probably listening to the show now. She represents community service organizations, the Ministry of Trade and Commerce. She also represents, and I represent, Potential to Purpose, which is founded by our beloved sister, Michelle Abel Stockham. Sister Shireen encourages you to man up and to purchase her new book, which is out, which is featuring Little Elijah. No. Little Elijah was first. This one is Sweet Khadijah. Well, we want you to get both books. We want you to get Little Elijah, which she's going to bring up on the screen. Now she still got my stuff up there. Little Elijah and Sweet Khadijah. Okay, place your orders. We are encouraging our sister to continue writing for our babies. We need more information coming out that specifically addresses for our children of color. And these books are not only for children of color, but specifically for children of color, so that they can see characters that look like them and make them feel good about themselves. That's what we love about Sister Shireen's books. We are honored to have her a part of Master the Science of Business and today, My Money Matters radio show, which we will be going live YouTube come the 1st of February. Because Sister Shireen putting us on the map like that. We love her, we honor her, and we appreciate her. And we introduce her to you today when she is ready, because she looked like she's still working it out. Our beloved Sister Shireen Muhammad.
Thank you so much, Sister Sandy. And, you know, I'm just like, when it comes to more awareness now, we're always learning, right? We're always learning, we're always growing, and we're always listening. And so what I've been hearing this whole week, I think, is fear. I've been hearing the fear. I've been acknowledging it in myself, and I've been hearing it in others. And I think it's very interesting for us to acknowledge that that fear is present, and then just go and do, like, you know, just go knock it out, right? We had the martial arts workout this weekend with Brother Anthony. Oh my God, we were getting it in the dojo, y'all. It's about 200 plus in that dojo. Absolutely breathtaking. We're really, really beautiful. But that's what we want to do with fear. We want to just knock it out the box. That's my more awareness now. which is Uplifting Profitability with Awareness. And this is the book, of course, Fall of America. And you can just go to Final Call, and I'm gonna bring that up in 1 second. You just go to the Final Call store and get your copy. Here we go. I just think it's interesting just to do all these wonderful things with this board here. But here we are. So you're here at the Final Call store, and there it is, Fall of America. And the classic hard copies are now available for those of you who would like to get the hard copy, who were not around back in the 70s and 60s when the hardback were available. They are now available. So the hard copies of Fall of America, Message to the Black Man, How to Eat to Live are all available. This is a must. The Secret Relationships Between Blacks and Jews. We're not just talking. Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is not just talking to bash at people. He's talking to make us aware of the relationships that we are in so that we know who we're dealing with. We know who we are. We know how we are being used. Like what's going on right now with R. Kelly, how he is being used. Not to say that he's not wrong in his behavior. He's not by himself. He's not the spearhead. He's just the scapegoat at this point. And they talk about the scapegoat in the red one right here and how the Black people are used as scapegoats. So get the book, study it, and then you'll have an understanding of why we speak the way we do. I'm not going to take up no more time. I want to bring our brother on who is always smiling. He always looks like he lights me up, you know. When he comes in, I'm bringing him in and I see that face. His energy is just so high. This is Brother Emilio Antonio Rivera. He is representing the Capitalistic Conversation Incorporated, and you can check that out on the Capitalistic Conversation .com, I believe it is. He can correct me when he comes in.
Capitalistconversation.com.
Okay, Capitalist Conversations. Is it Conversations with an S?
Yes, conversations.
Okay.
Capitalist with an S and conversations with an S.
Okay, excellent. The capitalistconversations.com. And that is an opportunity for us to not only hear from, we'll get to hear from those who have made it in the business world to the tune of up to billions of dollars.
That's right.
They are able to share with us how they did what they did, what they faced, how they overcame fears. Not that they didn't have fear. We you know, Brother Jahi was talking about fear earlier. It's not that we don't all have fear. We're human. But what do we do with it when we get it? You know, I think those are one of the biggest things. Fear and then ignorance, not knowing what it is, you know, the steps that are crucial to take in order to be successful. So welcome to the show once again, Brother Emilio, as our guest co-host. Take it away.
I'm on my third week. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yeah. And you fancier now because you are out of the car. Woo!
Yeah.
You was in a high class mobile for the past.
I know.
Week number 3. You know they say 3 is a charm, y'all.
That's right. I got a little more.
Number 3.
I got a little more light than everything this time.
Well, Brother Emilio, we had a group meeting last week, and we were talking about how we could put our nickels and dimes together to try to hire you on full time. Because you've been doing such a good job. Like, okay. I tell you, you're gonna make it hard for the next special guest co-host.
That's right.
Sister Shaheen, Sister Sandy, Brother Jahi, I gotta tell you, you guys, I mean, you know, you inspire me. You know, I mean, you know, the way that you do what you do with so much passion. You know, I mean, you guys just really just, you know, you're out here for the people. You can feel it, and it's contagious. You know. And I'm just excited, and I'm so grateful to you all that you thought enough of me to even ask me to, you know, to be a co-host along with you, you know, because, you know, I hadn't done this before, so I told Brother Jahi, I said, now look, now you know you gonna let me go after the first one. Do it nice and easy, okay? Don't. But I appreciate you all, and I'm just thankful and grateful, and appreciate and you know that Mr. Dudley, Mr. Roberts, and all these other gentlemen and successful women out here, they appreciate all that you do too, because you are out here talking about economic empowerment, helping people to get, as you say, this month, the month of information, for people to get information, a ministry of information, because if you don't have information, where do you go from there? You have to have information, and the information
Absolutely.
that you all disseminate on this show, I think is it was not one, it's the most important component that our people need right now, so I applaud you. I am grateful to you, and whatever 2 cents I can add to your greatness, I'm humbled by the opportunity.
Oh, well, we thank you, Brother Emilio, because not only has it been 2 cents, but we doubled that. It's been at least 5 cents worth of dynamic information. So we want the business scientists that are listening to this platform, listening to us via the Facebook Live, and there's a lot of people on tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and hopefully you get something out of it to help increase what you're doing. That is the purpose of this platform, and I want to thank Emilio. Emilio is a sales guru, business scientist. That's, again, the reason why we reached out to him to see, we had to grovel a little bit to ask him to be a special guest co-host, to have him on. But the brother is a serial business person, been in sales for a long time, and not just in sales, but extremely successful in sales, and he is a doer. That's what we want to bring before our audience, before the Mind and Money Matters Live audience, are people that are doers, to show us that, yes, we can do it. And somebody you can actually reach out to. You can call them on the phone. You can email them. You can contact them. So, yes, your presence has definitely been dynamic. If you all go back to last week's show where we had Brother Shelley Winter, who is a radio talk show host,
Yes.
and the dialogue that we all had, especially when it came down to sales, that video is entitled "In Sales, Influence, Business, and Politics." So if you go to our YouTube channel, which is Mind and Money Matters Live Show, go to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe and the bell, because as Sister Sandy said, the first show in February, we're going to start utilizing the YouTube Live platform instead of the Facebook Live platform. So meet us there. But there's a lot of dynamic information and things, strategies that you and I can start doing now. We don't have to wait. So that's what I want you to get out of it. So whatever you hear tonight, write it down, something that you can use, and then begin to implement it. And if you need some help, that's where you call us. That's what we're here for. All of us are coaches. 404-438-3156. 404-438-3156. As you move, but you got to be in motion. You can't, be sitting around saying, "Oh, I want to do this." You got to make some type of step, but calling us could be that first step. So, Brother Emilio, we continue to look forward to the valuable information that you share. So,
Thank you,
Sister
sir.
Sandy or Sister Shireen, you all are going to bring up our first illustrious guest that we haven't had with us in a while. So we're very honored to have her back. Sister Sandy, Sister Shireen.
Sister Shireen will bring her up. Okay. Praise be to Allah. So who we have about to come up to grace us on this platform of Mind and Money Matters Live Show is our dear Sister Audrey Muhammad. And Sister Audrey is an educator. She is a fitness instructor who enjoys utilizing the teachings to inspire and enrich others. She has taught at the high school and college level. Out of the desire to see women in the community fit, she decided to become an aerobics instructor and personal trainer. She is a fitness enthusiast who published books, The Sister's Guide to Fitness and the book audio book. She has Get Fit to Live, Be Your Best You. Her column, Get Fit to Live, has been featured monthly in the Final Call newspaper for over 12 years. Woo! She's going to tell us how she did it. The nutritional guidance she gives is based on the book How to Eat to Live. Mrs. Muhammad has also published 3 books and 1 audio book. Her most recent book titles include How to Set Worthy Goals and Rhymes of the Times, Black Nursery Rhymes. She is also the publisher in Inspirational Virtual Magazine, which is a magazine based on Proverbs 31. Her magazine has featured Erica Badu, Mother Tanetta, Dr. Ava Muhammad, and Iyanla Vanzant. In her spare time, she enjoys traveling, writing, and conducting educational workshops. She has presented workshops all over the U.S., including Los Angeles, Detroit, Alabama, and Chicago, Illinois, as well as internationally in London, England. Her publications are available on www.virtuetodaymag.com. And that's www.virtuetodaymag.com. I will show you that in a few. Actually, I can show it to you right now. That is her website. Mrs. Muhammad may be reached at 510-815-4591. That's 510-815-4591 for speaking engagements, or you may write to virtualtoday@gmail.com or Virtual Magazine, care of Audrey, and that you can get that if you should choose. Let us know. We make sure you get where you can write to her. If you need to write to her, just inbox us on Facebook. We'll be happy to share that information with you. So without further ado, we bring up our dear sister, Sister Audrey Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for
Assalamu
having me.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. It's wonderful to be back again on Mind and Money Matters, because it does matter.
It does matter, right? Like I matter, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
praise
ma'am.
Allah. Now, the last time you were on, we were on the audio. And so now we have a visual platform. So
Wow.
I pray that it will meet your expectations and we'll be able to get out the information to the people that we need to get out, so that we know
Yes,
how to
ma'am.
be virtuous, how to qualify to be in the magazine. I've been blessed to have my photo in the magazine a couple of times. I just happened to position myself. I kind of like scooted over next to behind Sister LaShonda, and I ended up in that infamous cover that you have with all the MGT and the diamond. I'm like, my little orange head is sticking on Sister LaShonda.
Yes, beautiful.
I'm in there with Sister Mother Tanetta. I just scooted over next to Mother Tanetta, took that picture.
So see, you're a virtue cover girl too, a virtue model and virtue cover girl.
Another time, Sister Deidre from Atlanta by way of LA, right? She we were out in the community fishing at I think it was Malcolm X event, here in Atlanta. And so that fishing picture of me talking to some sisters, inviting them out to the mosque, that image is also in one of your issues of Virtual Magazine. So welcome to the show. Tell us, what inspired you to the point that you started and continued? Like, we get these inspirations about things, and it's like that.
Yes.
I'm gonna try this, and then next day, it fizzles out. But you have been steadfast in this. According to your bio, 12. I did not realize it had been 12 years that you've been writing a column in the Final Call newspaper. How did you keep that up?
Well, it's, I've always enjoyed writing, and writing has been an expression. And anything that I do, I try to do it with an educational aspect. Even my students today at the college where I teach, they accuse me of being a health teacher because I explain to them the importance of don't come in here with Doritos and Coca-Cola and it's an 8 a.m. class. You know, you're not going to be able to perform your best. But consistency is the key, and being steadfast and believing that you have, you're being of service. And so I think that's what it's about. When I, as a high school teacher, started teaching kickboxing after school to my students, so that was just secondary. So again, people think, oh, you're into fitness. I said, I've been teaching literature for the past 20 years, you know, so that was just another byproduct of expressing and motivating students. So being of service and knowing that this is a service. When the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan wrote to me after I wrote to him, asking him, does he read the column Get Fit to Live? It doesn't appear as often in the final call now. There's a lot. I just had an article, I think two or 3 weeks ago, called The Showdown with Yourself. And so I get inspiration about different topics, and I'll send it to the final call editor. And if they have room to put it in, they'll put it in. But Minister Farrakhan, in his letter to me, he said, I do read your column, because I asked him, does he read my column, Get Fit to Live? What did he think? He said, I do read your column, and it complements the Messenger's column, which is How to Eat to Live, because I'm always would talk about fitness and the value of that along with eating to live. And so that always inspired me to keep going, you know. So, and in that letter, he also said, with your skills and talents, I'm sure there's much more you can do. So it's like, okay, so I write a column, what else? And then Virtue was born because, again, being of service, I wanted my daughter to have a magazine that reflects her, that to replace these negative images that we see of our sisters out in the media. So I started that to be of service and something to be inspirational to sisters. And that passion, you know, or that desire to create a publication like that, desire feeds the wheel. So that has allowed me, all praises due to Allah, to be consistent with it.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for mentioning that. I'm like, okay, so now I'm having to face another fear. I've written a minister a letter a long time ago. It's sitting in queue. I have not sent it to get his permission and his thoughts on what I'm writing with Seeds of Greatness, and now Little Sweet Khadijah, you know, my I Am the Seed of Greatness series. So I'm going to send that letter, right?
Yes,
so that show, when I come on, I'm going to let you know. I have sent the letter, y'all. It's just, you know, I don't know. You just want to make sure you say the right words to the minister. Like, which one of those words should I not say? Or which one should I say, right? Praise be to Allah. So thank you for sharing that. But it's something that you shared about your daughter, and that being a motivation, right? Your daughter, you know, what I thought about when you said that is how many businesses that I see are started inspired by the children in your life, and wanting to provide something greater and better. And that ends up being the thing that makes you stay through all the trials and tribulations, because I'm sure you have met and overcome them. To be in anything for 12 years, you meet and overcome. Right.
Yes,
so with that in mind, what do you use to meet and overcome?
Prayer, definitely. And I take the instructions that Minister Farrakhan gave in study guide number 19. And it's one of the points that I put in the anniversary book of Virtue, which is Pearls of Wisdom, Jewels of Guidance, the 15th anniversary issue of Virtue. All these things that have inspired me to keep going, I've shared over the years, and I compiled them all in a beautiful history book that shares, that teaches sisters and inspires sisters and brothers. But one thing that that helps me keep going is the quote where Minister Farrakhan in Study Guide number 19, Make a Law Sufficient, who is God and has a part to it. He says, when you pray, he says, some of us don't know how to pray. When you pray, pray for it to be a blessing. So I list a number of these jewels in there, but that's one that keeps me going. And if it's not going to be a blessing, remove it. You know, if something, a situation, I pray for this business, this book to be a blessing to sisters and brothers. I pray for it to be, because when you say, I want it to be a blessing, then all bases are covered. All bases are covered. You know, you can't go wrong with that, because what you prayed for is a blessing, and Allah will, you know, answer that prayer.
Excellent, excellent. I bear witness to that, definitely. And if it's not going to be a blessing, remove it. And it removes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow. I remember I was thinking about this all the time, and now I don't think about it at all. Right? Like,
Yes, ma'am.
you know,
yes,
absolutely. So Study Guide 19, excellent for bringing that up. If you had 3 things that you would give as a tip to someone who is inspiring to come into this business of information, what would those 3 things be?
I think to be of service, that's number one, and to find out as much as you can about the industry. It's changing so much with information, and you know, even though I'm still trying to catch up with things, and making sure that for my focus, having a particular focus. My focus has always been to share positive images. Virtue Magazine isn't a news, a current event type of publication where it's weekly trying to share things, but nowadays things are shared, you know, by the minute, you know. So I would say being of service, you know, being prayerful, and having some type of focus that you want to help out in terms of our society. And that's one thing that has kept me going.
Excellent, excellent. Sister Sandy or Brother Emilio, you have any questions? Let's see.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How you doing? Sister
Fine,
Mom, how
sir.
are you?
How are you? Fine,
I'm
fine.
doing
I pray
good.
you're well. Good.
Good to see you. I tell you what, you're one of the hardest working women I know. Everywhere I go, I run into you some kind of way.
Yes, sir. Trying to be like my big brother.
Whether it's at Savior's Day, at
networking,
PNC, or you know, the meetings. I mean, you're everywhere. You know, you know, just
Yes,
really
sir.
working hard. And no,
Yes,
but congratulations, you know, to you and your husband on such a beautiful piece of work, the Virtue Magazine. I mean, that is, you know, and every year is like, you know, you can tell you all are putting more work into it. And, you know, it's just, you know, just so beautiful, you know, to stay in this society where there's so much negativity, to have something that positive out that, you know, that people can look at and read and read some good news and good things that, you know, men and women are doing in the community. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see. So, you know, congratulations on, you know, to you on that. And
thank you.
but let me ask you this for the listening audience. I'm sure there's somebody that may be thinking about this. You know, I think that one of the things was Sister Serene just asked the question. You know, she made a statement about the fact that so many people, you know, they start and then they don't follow through all the way. You know, I'm sure that you've had some obstacles with this magazine, with the business, and, you know, from the day that you decided that you wanted to launch it, you know, to where you are now, you know, and some people have this notion, believe in this notion that, you know, magazines are no longer relevant. So in an era where everybody's just doing digital, you know, what made you and your husband Parliament say to yourselves, you know what? You know, there's still room for a magazine that people can hold in their hand and they can turn the pages and they can feel the spirit coming out of the magazine. What made you say to yourself that you could do both things in spite of what some would say that you should go in the other direction? And the second part to that question is, you know, what did you hold on to? What kept you going in spite of the fact that you had some obstacles from the time that you started to where you are now?
Yes, sir. Excellent question. And I think part of that is, just as you said, that people are going digital, and we are working on becoming more digital and offering more on the website. My daughter's helping me with that. But there are so many people that, you know, when you go to the airport, and then when I consulted with some others who publish magazines, where even though they have a digital platform, they still also have a paper platform, because there's power in something that you can that's tangible, that you can hold. There's power in that. And media, it means mass communication. It's a means of conveying a message. And when you have people are at the airport, you know, even though they can look at something on their phone, you still have all these magazines and books. You know, it's something that's classic, that will not go out of style. But like I said, there's power in being able to say, hey, this is mine. You know, this is something that you can turn your pages to. So the comments, what has kept me going is the positive feedback, where people of my generation and older value that, you know, and then also keeping up with the younger generation that are very tech savvy, like my daughter who runs my website and everything. Yes. So yes. So all of that is, and I just feel that it's powerful when you control your own media. That means you control your own images. So if I wanted to put Brother Emilio on the cover and say X, Y, and Z about him, I don't have to worry about someone saying you can't put him on the cover, or you can't put Sister Shireen on the cover. You know, because it's who you want to. You're not controlled by others, and we know that the media, some of the media out there, tries to portray us in such a negative way, and I mean, but nowadays, of course, we all have our own pages where we can put whatever we want about ourselves out there. But that's something that the positive feedback, that people love having the magazine, that people have kept it for years and years and years. And I still have your first issue from 2004. I'm like, really? Wow. You know, so even my children's book, you have a copy. I hope you're still reading it to your daughter.
Yes,
yes. So even the first copy of that, the children's book, has come, you know, a long way. But seeing the value of communication and seeing the value of having a hard copy is important.
Well, thank you. I thank you. I mean, I think that somebody was helped by your answers, because I certainly was. So, you know, I can see now, and I understand, you know, your perspective as to how you made that decision, and then how you all have continued to move on. So, thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
keep up the great work.
Thank you. I'll see you around.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Sister Sandy, Brother Jahi.
Yes, Sister. I'm sorry, Sandy. You want to go? Sister Audrey, again, thank you for coming on to our visual platform. The question I have for you is dovetailing off of what Brother Emilio just asked, the business viability of the physical paper, the physical magazine versus the digital. I know that's why a lot of organizations have gone digital, which is interesting considering a lot of them, all magazines are advertising, revenue driven. So those that were bringing in millions of dollars downscale their their physical platform and went to the digital platform. So from a small publisher point of view, what's your take on that? And then how can those that are listening could help support to make sure that Virtue Magazine stays a viable entity within our community?
Yes, sir. Excellent question. You know, I'm very thankful for the support, and I want to thank every brother and sister out there that has ever purchased a copy of Virtue Magazine over the past 15 years. And we are very thankful that for 2 years in a row, it won't be this year, but it was a blessing to have Virtue as a Savior's Day gift for sisters. That was a sacrifice to not make a profit, but to have that given away. But it helped to expose Virtue to so many sisters. So I'm very, very thankful for that. And one way to keep Virtue going, and I mentioned before, I have a copy of the Virtue anniversary book. Okay, and it shows, it's over 60 pages, and it shows the history of every single Virtue that was ever published. I mean, it's amazing, and it has like the best of the best. So if you don't have any other Virtue product, this Virtue book is a must-have. It's in a book form so that it will last a long, long time. And just seeing the value of these positive images that we can have in our office and have in our home and share with our brothers and sisters. And even though that, as I said, I'm also creating more digital content because it is important. But, you know, learning to work smart and not just jump into something that I'm not sure about, as I've done before, but we learn from our mistakes and we continue to build the brand. I think Virtue has built a particular brand. People know that when they pick up a Virtue Today magazine, they know exactly what they're getting. You're not going to see all of a sudden, you know, someone half naked in the magazine, but there's integrity about it. All of the articles, all of the people that I've interviewed, from Dr. Dudley to Jackie Mayfield to Brother Thomas Jihad, who was studied under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I mean, all of these men, and Mother Tynetta, Sister Ava, you know that when you pick up Virtue, it's redefining us with strength, honor, beauty, and class. You know what you're getting. And I just hope that everyone would continue not only just supporting it, but seeing the value in it, that even if you're not going to get it, you might get it, buy two, get one for a friend, expose, you know, sisters and brothers to it. Because one thing that Minister Farrakhan told me when I met him briefly in Charleston, as he was flipping through the magazine, he said, "Sister, this is a valuable tool to uplift women." A valuable tool. So having a tool is something you hold, right? You know, so that was very, very inspiring, for me to continue developing a tool, whether I publish it once or twice a year, and continue to develop the online access so more people have access to it. But I'm growing slowly but surely. You know, it is not my main means of income. I'm an educator. I'm a full-time faculty member at a local college. So I use my my energy and talent and resources to continue to steal away and build. And now my daughter has her own company where she does flyers and websites and things like that for people. And she's been inspired and given me ideas. So that's just a way to, continue keeping it going.
Fantastic. A two-parter for you before we bring up our next guest, Sister Audrey. Mm-hmm. Number one, our longtime supporter. She has been on every episode that we've had. Sister Tahira Muhammad out of Harlem, New York. She wants to know how she can subscribe to your magazine or get a copy of Virtue Magazine. I'm sure she represents about 47,000 other people out there that are watching that wants to know the same.
Yes, yes, sir. So you can get it on, get a copy of the magazine. There's a sale going on right now, and if you hop on before the 31st, you'll be able to get that free gift that comes with Virtue Magazine, which is a calendar. There's a sale at www.virtuetodaymag.com. So that's www.virtuemag.com. And of course, you can follow us on Instagram. The link is there in the bio on Instagram, on Twitter, Virtue Mag. So has, you know, a picture of all the articles or issues, some of the people, celebrities I've met over the years and was blessed to either interview or meet or take a picture with. And one thing also, when you advertise in Virtue Magazine, you basically buy one, get one free. You're getting 2-for-1 deal. Not only do you get in the magazine, but you also get an online presence with your advertisement. So that's something that we're building too. So please go to www.virtuetodaymag.com. If you just type in Virtue Magazine in Google, it'll come up and you can order. So right now we just have available copies. There isn't a subscription. It's just available copies, and the copies that are available is the souvenir book. This is the book, and then the family issue and the gratitude issue, which features Sister Shireen as one of the cover girls. That one is available. So those two classic issues are available, and the book is available, as well as the nursery rhymes. So please support so that we can keep it going and growing and building.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, beloved Sister Audrey. It is always an honor to have you on our show. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing those phenomenal, beautiful jewels about business.
I got one other question, Sister Sandy. I have one other question, Sister Sandy. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Sister Audrey. I know that this is for the younger people that are listening, especially our college students. Now, your success didn't just like pop up a few years ago. There were some things that you've had in place as a college student, and maybe prior to that, but I definitely know as a college student. How can those that are watching, especially those that are in college that have access to student budgets and things like that, what can they do? What are some things that they can do to help spread the ministry of information via bringing on someone like a Brother Emilio Guevara to their campus, or Sister Shireen as a publisher to their campus, or Sister Sandy as a holistic health practitioner to their campus? I know you have a background in that. What are some things that they can do?
Yes, sir. Excellent. And you know, I recently did that for you all when I was at Fayetteville State. Brought you on.
That was a setup question. But one of the things that I really love, Sister Audrey did reach out. She invited Professor Griff to her campus when she was teaching at Fayetteville State. And prior to us getting there, there was a little hiccup. So Sister Audrey called me. She got the information she needed, and it was so funny. She said, "Okay, don't worry about it, brother. I got this." And next thing, on our en route to Fayetteville State. So I love that. And of course, the students, they really, really loved it. It was very impactful. Even the person who had the apprehension initially, he even came over and apologized for the perception that he had at first. But Sister Audrey, when she made that comment, "Don't worry, brother, I got this," and then it was on from that point. So that was great.
Yes, sir. Yes, they didn't know who they were messing with right now. I have a history with, being active on the campus, or, when I was a student, back in Ohio, I was the vice president of the Black Student Union. So I had a little knowledge about how budgets work and things of that nature. And I would encourage students to, if you're in an organization, get involved, get in a position of leadership and help to control who comes to your campus. Don't just leave it to others directing you. And we took control of who we wanted coming to our campus. And so all of that, you learn so much about business, so much about facilities management, budget, if you get involved in a local organization. It helps you develop your leadership skills and organizational skills. So I would encourage each young person to do that. Get involved on campus. Don't be a victim, be a victor, make it happen, as Brother Jahi would say. Just be a person that makes it happen. And that's the spirit I've always taken, make it happen. I saw you all have the nursery rhyme video up. What happened? What happened to it?
Well, it was, and now I can't get to it. Hold on. Oh.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up.
Martin had a little dream, a little dream, a little dream. Martin had a little dream, peace and equality. But everywhere that Martin went, everywhere that Martin went, he was treated unequally. The dream followed him around the world one day. He died before it was a reality.
It really boils down to this, that all life is interrelated. We are all caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny, and whatever affects one directly, yes, sir, affects all indirectly.
Thank you for
Powerful.
sharing.
Excellent.
Yes.
So this is in your nursery rhymes, right?
Powerful.
Yes, I shared it with a coworker and she had her son memorize it. So imagine if your children are memorizing nursery rhymes instead of Mary Had a Little Lamp, Martin Had a Little Dream, Elijah Be Humble, Elijah Be Quick, the woman on the bus, so it's a way of teaching, a fun way to teach history to our children and strengthen them, empower them. So thank you for sharing that.
You're very welcome. Go ahead, Sister Sandy, take it away.
Okay, so I'm just excited. So much wisdom and knowledge being shared, and a beautiful example that we are everywhere. So you can find this information.
Mr. Sandy.
Brother Jahi, I'm gonna get you. This is the second time. What you gonna say?
I apologize. We have a special guest that I want to bring up real quick. He's going to be on with us next week. He's about to jump on a flight. So bring up Sister Shereen. Bring up Dr. Akua real quick. Brothers and sisters, this is Dr. Chika Akua, the internationally known educational consultant. He's going to be our special guest next Monday, but I want to bring him in. He just wants to say a couple of words. He's about to jump
absolutely. I'll pause for our brother Chika.
He's on his way.
I'll pause for a minute.
He's on his way to South Dakota. He's not like regular people. He can't eat the chicken that's grown in the South. He has to go to South Dakota to get him some ring neck pheasants. So he's going to go ahead and do that and come back real quick. So Dr. Chika, welcome. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's good to see you all, and peace and blessings to everyone. It's
All
good to be
right.
on with you.
Yeah, Chica is the Minister of Information in the
Yes.
educational realm.
Oh, yes, he is.
So,
Yes, he is.
Yes.
yes, you see, we have Sister
Now,
Audrey.
he is a world traveler. I'm just like, playing around. Brother Chica, Dr. Chica.
No time to be playing. No time to be
That's
playing.
right. That's right.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, we thank you, sir. I see you about to get on the plane. So what's happening in South Dakota?
I'm speaking at a Martin Luther King Jr. celebration at South Dakota State University. So we're going to be bringing a message tomorrow afternoon for that.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So I thank you for calling in. I know you're about to get on the plane. He will be our special guest next week. So business scientist, if you want to learn how to make a living in this speaking business, in the business of information, he's the author of 42, 43 books. How many is it now?
More like 10. More like 10. But
Speaking
No, no
over the
pressure,
world.
brother Chica. No pressure. No pressure
right,
on you.
we're 10, soon to be 42. But
Okay.
infopreneur also, and working on
Info,
sharing
right.
with people how to monetize their knowledge. And so if you're
Right.
interested in that, definitely tune in next week. We'll be showing you how you can train with me to become a paid professional speaker, how to develop your product line, negotiate contracts, all of those wonderful things. So looking forward to speaking
Fantastic.
with y'all next week.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right,
Bring
y'all
me
take care.
back. Bring me back.
You
Bring me
too.
back a
Look
fish
forward
sandwich.
to it.
Bring me back a fish sandwich.
Will do. Will do.
So you can have the scent all over the plane.
Will do.
All right. Assalamu
All right.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
All right, y'all. Are we ready now, Brother Jahi, Brother
Yes,
Emilio, Sister
yes,
Shireen?
yes.
We ready.
This is a powerful panel tonight. Powerful. Yes.
Yes, a powerful panel. Oh my goodness, we are ready to bring up our next special guest who has been patiently waiting with us, Sister Lajaya Muhammad. We welcome you to the Mind Money Matters radio show. Your extensive bio, I'm going to do my best to do it honored because you have an extensive background in so many different areas. We'll start with you are a certified, she is, our beloved sister, a certified holistic health educator. She's a certified childbirth educator, a doula. She's an accredited positive parenting facilitator. She's also a certified youth mental health first aider with specializing in teen suicide prevention, knowledge of self and numerology and aromatherapy. She's an illustrator. She's a mother. She's a grandmother. She does phone consultations in all of the many areas that we'll be talking about, and we'll have her to leave her contact information so that you can reach her. She's also a holistic health. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Now let's go to the resume. Sister Lagia, let me make sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Come on in, beloved, to make sure that the listening audience hear your name correctly as I pronounce it. Are you there for me? Can we hear you? Make sure that you're there. We go. Speak again for me.
This is Lydia. Lydia.
Beautiful. Lydia. Praise be to Allah. Thank you so much. Sister Lydia. She has several web pages full of so much wonderful information. She has the web page doing I Am Mathematics, knowledge of self mathematics, for self-development, living your life purpose, for individual and family consultation and chart services. We also have a page for our beloved sister, which is entitled Introduction to Aromatherapy Workshops. Ooh, this is right up my alley. Right up my alley. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Also, where she offers Life Path Awakening to creative scent sensitivity, and that's spelled like the nose, like you smell, sensitivity. I love that. Our beloved sister also has a web page that deals with when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. We know where that came from. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, socializing our youth, building family health and education. And you can go to all of those websites. We will list them for you to be able to look at all of the many things that she's doing. She also have support groups, Facebook support groups. You can go to Facebook and you can find her. When you teach a woman, you teach a nation. There's a Facebook group. And then also Mother is First Nurse, First Teacher, Facebook. It's a community page. Welcome our beloved sister Lydia to our My Money Matters radio program. Welcome, beloved.
Thank you for having me, for inviting me to come on. I really appreciate being here. And being
You
here
are
allowed me to kind of not be so nervous. Still a little bit of nervous, but you know, I'm used to radio.
you look beautiful and you are doing fine. And I always like to say, you have done this many a times. You have spoken and helped so many people. And this platform that we're utilizing today is to simply place your information in the hands of more and more people. We'll have the replay of this where you'll be able to share it with your loved ones and the with your clients as well. So just imagine you are just here talking with me and my partners, Brother Emilio, Sister Shireen, and Brother Jahi, and just be comfortable. Make yourself at home.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. Beautiful, beautiful. So because your resume is very extensive and impressive, I will have to say I would consider it a curriculum vitae. You have the expertise in so many different areas. I'd like to start out with first and foremost, how did you end up in the area of business of expertise that you have found yourself in?
I was first really as an artist, you know, because I did do artwork in the Final Call paper for like 10 years, from 91 to 2001. And Mother Tanetta came to Oakland Mosque in the 80s, and she saw that so many of us were not working, so many of us women, and she felt like we should be having our own businesses. So with the inspiration of Mother Tanetta and with my desire to help women have birth naturally because of my grandmother teaching me, and with Minister Farrakhan's How to Give Birth to God, it inspired me to start with a childbirth education class and being a doula. So that was where my initial inspiration came for teaching others.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. So you started with the doula, and offering courses in natural childbirth.
Natural childbirth, yes. Most definitely natural
Yes,
childbirth.
yes. And you mentioned something that really piqued my interest. You said that you learned that from your grandmother.
My grandmother would talk to us, you know.
Is that correct?
Yes, having an elder in our lives is what we're missing a lot of that today. But having my grandmother teach me when I was like 8 years old, she would tell me about her childhood because I would ask a lot of questions. And I remember her telling me about having her 7 babies at home and having them with a midwife. The last one was with a doctor. And she was very open about that preparation. Preparation was very key. So with my grandmother telling me that when I was 8, when I got older and started having the desire to help women because things had happened to me with my childbirth, my 2 older daughters that I felt was unnecessary. Unnecessary to put me on my back, which causes pain. Unnecessary to tie my hands down with they tie hands down with for women who are in prison with my second one to the bed. And I just never wanted other women to have to go through that. I wanted them to be aware of what they could do to you, and also what you can do for yourself as far as being empowered.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, how many children do you have today?
I have 5 children. I wanted 20. But I stopped at 12.
Well, I had to come back
Listen,
in.
Sister Sheree.
That is an unusual statement coming from a woman.
Listen,
No, back in the day, our mothers had that many children and desired them. So, sister, you want
that's beautiful.
Wow, beautiful.
That is
really building.
that is beautiful. That is beautiful. And so, yes, ma'am. And so, with that desire, you can help other women come through, because you've had an opportunity to see in your own personal experience. You've had an opportunity to see and experience women through yourself through childbirth, and now having the ability to help other women in childbirth. Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
The challenges, as well as the excitement of it, because so many tell women when they see them, oh, it's so difficult, it's hard, it's going to hurt, you need to take those drugs. Whereas I come along and I say, no, you don't. You have to take your vitamins, your minerals, because you have calcium, that's a pain reliever. You have your iron that keeps you from bleeding and hemorrhaging. You have your protein that gives you more strength and power and grows the baby. But the women don't hear that anymore. They're not teaching about nutrition. My grandmother taught me about nutrition, and the midwife that I studied under taught me how important nutrition was. They're not. I've come across midwives and doulas today who are not teaching. They're teaching the women that it's okay to drink Coke. It's okay to eat chips, And when I go into the classroom, I see on the table Coke and chips and, other unhealthy things that does not offer nutrition. I always have to teach them the better way and why. It's important that we know why, not just tell them, because what I find about this generation is that they don't want to just be told. You can't just tell them anything, but you have to explain things to them and then give the information. That's why I have so much information.
And that's very evident when I look at your website. You have so much information, and there's no excuse for us as women, as fathers, as guardians of children, that we should not know. So I guess the question that I wanted to ask you is, how do you get your information out to as many people as you can about what it is that you do and the wealth of information that's available?
How do I get it out? Through my website, through Facebook. I got on Facebook to really network. And Facebook has been a really, really blessing for me, because I have reached so many thousands of people, and I post all the time. I'm always posting, and then they tell their friends and they invite, people, and then, Facebook is a way to invite. But I also go to classes. I teach in daycares. I teach in community-based programs. I teach in reentry programs with the prisoners. I have fathers that I teach, because parenting is for mothers and fathers. And so this is how I get the information out there.
Beautiful. If I could go back to something that you just referred to again, you mentioned one of your childbirths. You experienced the trauma of being tied, your hands being tied. What are some? Yes, ma'am. What are some of the things that in this moment we would encourage our audience who is contemplating childbirth, who is with childbirth now, and even those who have children now? What are some of the things that you can leave us with that can help us to better understand some of the do's and the don'ts of, first of all, considering to be a parent, and then second of all, that process to bring a healthy child here? What are some of the things that you can share with us?
Well, Dr. Elijah Muhammad taught us that we don't really study the science of mating. So we really need to understand what that means as women, as men, and how to give birth to God was not just for the woman, it was also for the men. So as a couple, when you're thinking about having a baby, make sure you're eating properly. The men also have to get their vitamins and minerals to produce healthy sperm. And the woman has to eat healthy so that her body is strong, so that she can go through labor, so that she can produce a child. So I would say study the knowledge of self, understanding even why you chose each other to come together. Because when you understand who you are and who your mate is, there's more harmony in the family. Because also, being in a relationship is also like a business. And there's a lot of give and take, but there's a lot of how do we get along for years? What do we do to help each other in the family so that our children, when we bring them into the world, they know what we stand for, but they know what the family stands for. Many of us don't know what our family is about. And so we send our children out into the world because we have not planned for them. We have not planned to teach them in a way that leaves a legacy, like Sister Audrey was talking about. Her daughter is now doing some things. You know, she's taught her daughter in a way that she can also come up in a business setting. I've taught my son how to do analysis using mathematics, you know, because Dr. Elijah Muhammad says that we need a knowledge of self. And knowledge of self is not just us as a people together, but as an individual. If you don't know who you are, and then you get with someone else, there may not be a compatibility. And so that poisons not only the relationship, it poisons businesses, it poisons families, it poisons community, because we're trying to work with each other, but we have no knowledge of who we are and how we can best work together. So that's why I use the mathematical sciences. Some call it numerology. It's only been named numerology for 100 years. I don't know what it was called before that, but I know that it's ancient science that our original people used. That's how we knew who we were by the time we were 6 years old. This is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. We need to know who we are by the time we're 6 years old. And Mr. Farrakhan mentioned years ago, we need to know what our purpose is. When you know what your purpose is, you do the work, you build partnership with those that are in, harmony with yourself. Because where in one area you may not be strong, another person may be strong, and then we come together and bring our gifts, our talents together to build. So that we don't have to go out looking for work. We build from the gifts that Allah gave us. We were given gifts, and we don't utilize them. We give them away.
Beautiful. That's so. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. I really want to bring our beloved brother Emilio in on the conversation because he and his wife has a beautiful, beautiful daughter, and they are in the. I think in this whole group right here of all of us, our children are a little bit older, but he has one smaller. So I'd like to bring him into the conversation as well and to share any insights or have any questions that you would like to ask our beloved guest as well.
Yes, I just been, just sitting here and all listening to you, sister. I mean, it just, it's such a spiritual person. We have a 6-year-old, which took us a good little while for her for God to bless us with her. And she's our only child, and so I would really like to know from your perspective, and your knowledge base, what are some of the things that you would suggest that that we do to continue for her to continue to grow and make sure that her health and everything is at best. What are some of the things that you would suggest?
When is her birthday?
Her birthday is on September the 26th.
So this child is already a leader. She already knows who she is and what she's supposed to be doing, but because she's a child, a lot of times adults don't recognize her knowledge, her gift. She's more mature. How old is she now? 6?
She's 6 years old.
She already knows who she wants to be around, who she doesn't want to be around. She already knows that she should be in leadership position. She is a natural person that will put all the other children in order. So business is good for her. Being an entrepreneur, writing, how you say, she's an executive, right? Does she behave that way?
You're absolutely
Yeah.
she does.
So with her,
It's-
you're gonna
the
have to watch
teachers always
the
tell
adults
us.
around her because she's so wise. You can't just tell her anything. She sees through how adults kind of like will try to put up a facade or, try to be more than what they are. She sees through that and she tells them about it. Her mouth will get her in trouble. So you have to really talk to her about, truth with compassion. She has to learn truth with compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, my wife and I were just looking at each other. We were just like, wow, you really hit it. She hit it right on.
Brother Jahid knows me. He's seen me work before. Right, Jahid?
That
Yes,
totally,
yes, yes, I have.
describes her. She is. We've always, we've been just amazed a lot of times at her.
Mm-hmm.
At her, her wisdom at her age.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, I'll tell you a story that I shared with brother Zari and brother and sisters and the sisters when we had a conversation in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. I told them, I said, sometimes my wife and I look at each other and we're amazed. Because we were in Atlanta and we were going down this escalator, and when you go down in that, I think it's on Peachtree, and it's like a mall down there, brother Zahid.
Yes, that's Peachtree Center train station.
Right, and so a gentleman had guided us, and I thought that he was saying that we needed to go all the way down, And my wife was saying no. He was, it's. I think it's in this direction. So we were supposed to go back up. So we had to come back up, and we were having a little dialogue. And our daughter says to us, "Well, it really doesn't matter as long as we get to where we're going, right?"
That's the Yeah.
And we looked at each other and we said, "But there's been so many instances like that with her, And in school, they tell us, the teachers tell us that she's the one that, the compassionate one, the one that, tries to protect the other, if a student being mistreated, she tries to protect that student. But you're right. Those are some of the things that we have actually observed. So it's amazing that, I'm sitting here kind of shocked that you were able to pinpoint that.
You've heard the saying, numbers don't lie, right?
Right.
They don't. It truly does not.
Unbelievable.
We just have to re-establish that in our families, Mm-hmm. And, in our ancient days, we used to take our children to those like myself who could tell the parents how to work with your children. Because as an 8 vibrational energy, she has a bad temper too, if you cross her. So ginger and lemon, juice is good for her because it would help her to have patience with others. Because sometimes she loses patience with those with small minds. So when you
this is right on point for me too. I need to be taking notes.
Brother Emilio's cracking up because he's like,
I'm like, wait a minute.
You and your wife is enjoying this.
I'm just wondering, has she been following us?
Right. You can tell it's all in your face. It's all in your face, Brother Emilio. Like, huh? I never met this woman before in my life.
Well, I'm definitely going to give you a call, Sister Lydia, as soon as this conversation is over. And I think all of us will probably be giving you a call so that we can get the help that we need.
I'm trying to tell you. Absolutely.
That's a couple of points I want to bring out or observe based upon some things that Sister Lydia has been saying that I didn't even think about. Now, we are talking about the Ministry of Information. So I admit I've been thinking about this like from the formalized side. Like next we're gonna have radio personality on again and people to write books and we have magazine and publishers and things like that. But the dissemination of information, at least I know when I was growing up, it was through grandmama,
Yes.
aunt,
Right.
granddaddy, uncles, and you would observe what they did, or even like sitting down, watching and listening to them. So you referenced that about how your grandmother, how you learned these things from your grandma. Just curious, where's your grandmother from?
Mississippi.
Aha!
I'm curious, were you, Brother Johnny?
Mississippi.
From the motherland.
And she always,
Brother Johnny, he from Mississippi, so everyone from Mississippi is great.
and she always
That's right.
talked
That's
about-
right. That's absolutely right. Yes.
She always talked about our connection, our natural, original connection to the land. She always talked about our people being from here, not having come from somewhere else. Because often, we look at some of the movements and they're, talking about going back to Africa. That's fine for some of us, but all of us didn't come from Africa. Some of us, we didn't come in the last 400 years. Some of us were here for thousands of years. This landmass has been here for a very long time. And my grandmother was very clear about instilling that in me, in my youth. So when I go out and I talk to the young boys in detention center, or I talk to the men and, the reentry programs, I always take them back to, what did your grandparents tell you? Because that gave you a sense of pride in where you were from. We don't have a sense of pride in this country because we don't think we're from here. And that didn't start until the 60s.
Wow.
So we have to really look at, encompassing all parts of ourselves and not saying, okay, well, we don't need to take care of us here. We do, because this is where we are for now. We've traveled all over the world. If you look at some of the things that are being discovered now, pyramids were in ancient Kemet. The pyramids are also in the Asian countries, they're also in the South American countries. So then when we're teaching our children about their story, we got to look at the whole world. We are everywhere, everywhere. And so our children need to know that we have certain places that we were able to build, but then we also went all over the world and did the same thing. And we were not hampered by race. So our children are powerful. And so that 8-year-old, that 6-year-old, that's the number 8. Mother Teneta taught me that our children are the ones that will give us the answers. Teach them to know the lessons, teach them to recite the lessons, because in the lessons are numbers, if you notice.
That's right.
So it's mathematics, right? And so they will unlock the keys for us. And so she taught me to, when you're teaching the children, to never tell them they're wrong. They may say something's totally different from us. They may say that they're from another universe. And we like, oh, that's your imagination. But what are they saying now? They're saying there's life on other planets. There's life on other worlds. There's other dimensions. Our children saw it. The Dogon saw it without having to use these devices. So our children are very spiritual. If we keep those other, mindset out of them, if we allow them to use their imagination, if we allow them to explore and not shut them down, they will have a lot to tell us.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you for sharing with me about your daughter.
Thank you for sharing.
She shared with you about your daughter, what you
I'm trying
wanted
to tell you.
You wondered if she was there.
I was like, how does she know this? So, Sister Lydia, I know you were doing a radio program at one time. Are you still doing the radio program? And also, how can the business scientists that are listening to the program tonight, what's the best way for them to contact you so that they can set up either a consultation? And I know you do a lot of training in the communities. Every week when I speak with you, you're at a different location. So those, and I know you're planning to do some stuff with the 10,000 Fearless headquarters of the South sometime in the very near future and other organizations. So how can one get in contact with you to schedule you to come in?
The easiest way for them to remember how to contact me is through healthwealthandromance.com. That's healthwealthandromance.com. My phone number is 770-912-5800. And they can just call and set an appointment up with myself. My son is also part of the business. He can also share with you about yourself or your children. And pretty much we try to help people to be who they are so that you can get work that or build your own business based on what your natural talents are, so that you love what you do. I love what I do because it's part of my nature. It's part of what my mathematical analysis actually confirms. So when we're doing what we love and what we were given as gifts, then we can do it for thousands of years. We're supposed to be living a long time. And each time, we go through cycles too. So we may go through a 9-year cycle doing one thing, and then another 9 years, we're doing something else that we've been blessed to do. That's why you see so many things on my website, because I've been given so many gifts and I had to categorize it. So it's not just to do one thing. We have to explore ourselves and build on it. So healthwealthandromance.com, 770-912-5800. And so, I am mathematics is what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talks about in Torchlight for America. I use a lot of the quotes from Message to the Black Man, Torchlight for America, Sister Ava Muhammad's material, Mother Tanetta's material, and integrated into, thank you, I see you have my website up. And that's integrated into regular curriculums because, I'm not hired to go out and just do the mathematical analysis. I have to get in there some other kind of way. And that's why you have the teaching of the parenting classes. And in that, I integrate the other knowledge. And in that, they can go to my websites. A lot of the people that I deal with are homeless and they don't like carrying the papers around. I have different handouts that I use from the drawings that I've done. And in using these drawings and handouts, they keep them, and then because they move around a lot, but they never lose their phones. They keep up with their phones.
Right.
So they use their phones to go to my websites. And I put some lessons on there.
All right, great.
So here we have the numbers. If you scroll down to the number 8, so we can look at brother's daughter here. So number 8 right there. So those are the fruits and vegetables. Okay, and also some of the health issues and the oils. You see there's ginger there for people that are 8s, because 8s really do get annoyed by those that have when I say small minds, 8s think so differently. They're so powerful, and sometimes they just get upset with people who don't have the same capacity to learn like they do, because they're very quick learners. So you see that, brother? You see that about your daughter?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Mm-hmm.
A question for you, Sister Lydia. There's been some debates going on about the use of marijuana, legalized marijuana, and you have various ideologies about it.
Okay.
You share with me recently some information, and especially for those in Georgia who are contemplating or anxiously awaiting the legalization of marijuana. What are some warnings? Now, there's some obvious things that we know, like Dr. Wesley Muhammad has done extensive research.
Yes, he has.
Marijuana thing, how it is adversely affecting and has affected entire generation. But from the social aspect of it, you sharing with me some information recently about that. Please share that with our business scientists that are listening today.
Yes, sir. The marijuana, whether it's legal or not legal, if you have children, they will take your children from you, because this is considered, you're not supposed to be smoking around children. It's against the law. And they use the marijuana to come in and take your children and put them in foster care.
That's right.
And even if someone, you know, a drug addict or someone was addicted to drugs, other drugs even, and you got yourself cleaned up, you maybe got off the marijuana because you can be addicted to marijuana, and you got off of it, you still have a hard time getting your children back. And one thing that they're saying in the media that I found out was that 88% of the sex trafficking is coming from foster care. So you put in your children at risk, you put in your family at risk. And I've known of people who had, you know, children in the home and they may be in the other room smoking that marijuana, but maybe you and your partner are not getting along so well. And maybe you and your partner, you know, you're trying to get at each other because a lot of times people will use the children. And so, or maybe you have a friend that's, you know, jealous of you, or you done stepped on somebody's toes. All it takes is a tip. And they will, you know, how you say, those workers will come in and investigate and take your children. So those, you know, you can smoke all you want, but understand that there's a risk involved. And now we're talking about not just you know, having certain other tendencies because your hormones are out of whack, but now you can actually lose your children.
Wow.
Other ways that families are losing their children, you know, everyone wants to post a picture of their children and their babies they just had. You could post a picture of you sleeping with your baby and they will come in and take your child because they are now wanting, you know, they're saying that sleeping with your child is a risk, your baby's a risk because one of the parents might roll over on that child. So maybe you say, okay, we've been sleeping with our children forever. But now you got people smoking marijuana and going to bed and, you know, they may not wake up and roll over on their child. So they're considering a risk. So we have to look at why these laws are in place. And if you know, breastfeeding is easier to breastfeed your child and lay down. Also, breastfeeding causes you to be sleepy. It's a stress reliever, you know, when the mother is nursing her child. But these laws are in place and you got to be aware of these laws. So stop taking pictures of your babies resting on the father's chest, resting on the mother's sleep in the bed. We are giving too much information about how we live in our lives on these social medias.
I agree. Thank you so much for sharing. Wow, this is a definitely very informative and powerful episode. I want to thank Sister Lydia. We've been trying to get her on for a couple of years now. Finally, she capitulated.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you inviting me. It's been a pleasure. I enjoyed listening to everyone.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Sister Audrey, Muhammad, of Virtue Magazine, and of course our Brother Emilio. I haven't shared this with Sister Sandy or Sister Shireen yet, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna use executive powers. You a special guest co-host whenever you want to. Whenever you want to pop up, you know, you part of the family now. So whenever you feel like guest co-hosting, any Monday that you like, you can.
Oh boy.
Ashe. I agree.
Absolutely one. But before we wrap up, I just want to reiterate the Final Call newspaper. Make sure you get your issue of the Final Call. You can find them at Cafe Ulu at 2036 Sylvan Road, right there at Sylvan and 166. Our coffee shop. It's a cooperative that Master Science of Business is a part of, along with 500 other people now. A part of that cooperative that started that cafe, Ulu, which is a coffee shop, snack shop. And we will be there Thursday at 6:00 p.m. with this week in the Final Call. That's another podcast that we do at NO number 1, the word NO, the number 1 program on YouTube. You can see us there live every Thursday at 6:00 p.m. We were blessed to have Sister Kava Muhammad join us. Myself and Brother Rashad Sharif Muhammad, the producer of the show, along with Professor Griff of Public Enemy. But only criteria we have, you must read at least 4 articles of the latest issue of the Final Call before you come and join us, because we discuss what's in the final call, the different articles in the final call. And again, remember, go to Mind and Money Matters live show on YouTube, subscribe, like, and comment, and hit the notification bell, because the first show in February, which is February the 4th, we will start streaming live from YouTube, from that YouTube channel. Start that platform there. So, and also you can find the final call at the physical copy. You can find it at Black Dot Cultural Center in Lithonia, Georgia, downtown Lithonia. Go and see Baba Kazim Day. Let him know that we sent you, as well as Blue Seas Express on Joseph Boone Boulevard. I think it's 891 Joseph Boone Boulevard, Blue Seas Express. You can find the final call there. And you can also go to Muhammad Mosque, number 15, here in Atlanta, Georgia, 3642 Camilton Road, and get your latest issue of the final call, or any of the Nation of Islam's mosques in 160 cities around the United States and the world, and get your copy of the Final Call newspaper. That's it from me, Jaheed, Mr. Communicator Muhammad. Next week, you got a brief scene of Dr. Chika Akua. Dr. Chika Akua is a guest next week. Also, Brother Amelia, you may be familiar with our brother. He was a radio personality in Charlotte, BJ Armstrong. BJ Armstrong from the BJ Armstrong Show.
Yes. Yes, I'm familiar.
He will be with us.
Okay,
He will be
great.
with us next week to talk about the radio business as well as the podcasting
Okay.
business next week.
Fantastic.
All right, wonderful.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna sign off now because I gotta. My 6-year-old is 8:00, and I'm
Yes, sir. Handle your business, brother.
My hands on daddy. So
now that you've been informed of who you're dealing with, go ahead, handle your business.
Go ahead and deal with our leader.
So
see you next week,
thank
sir.
you so much. Love you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And,
Love you
Sister
too, Pete.
Lydia, I tell you, I am so. You really woke me up. So I tell you, I will be reaching out to you. Thank you so much. Okay.
Give thanks. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye now.
Nice to meet you, Allah.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye
Bye bye. Bye bye. It's been phenomenal, y'all. It's been phenomenal. Take us out of here, Sister Shireen.
Oh my goodness. Look, thank you, Sister Sandy, because I received, and I wanted to share this with you all. This is a quick sneak peek on I Am the Seed of Greatness, Little Sweet Khadijah. This I'm just gonna flash through the pages for you to get a quick look at what you will be receiving. Those of you who have prepaid, this is the pages of the book. There's still some minor changes to be made, but once those are made, inshallah, we'll be going to print starting this week or the end of this week. This is Little Sweet Khadijah and her crew.
It's nice.
Thank you very much.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Praise be to Allah. I'm excited
That's
about
coming
her.
from an illustrator.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Little Sweet Khadijah, the kindest. She is the Seed of Greatness member of the Agra Nation, Your Highness. Yes, of our girls, we think of them as no less. She is a princess. So you'll see all the things that she's getting herself into. And this is to be continued. And that's Little Sweet Khadijah Street Cafe. So we looking forward to her being ready and available for Savior's Day. And Savior's Day is in Chicago.
How can we forget that? Yes.
Yes. Go ahead, Brother
Yes,
Johnny.
February. I'm really tripping. Yeah, February 15th through the 17th, Chicago, Illinois, Savior's Day, with the culminating lecture for Savior's Day, which is also the crowning event of Black History Month. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speaking from the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. You can join us in Chicago, or you can watch via NOI.org on the 17th. You definitely want to hear that. You all know what's going on and in this world today. And the minister, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, always has information to help guide us through these tumultuous times. So you definitely want to tune into that. And please forgive me. I was channeling my basketball days from back in the day. I said BJ Armstrong. I mean our brother BJ Murphy out of the BJ Murphy show out of Charlotte, North Carolina, will be our guest next week to talk to you about the radio business. He's been an on-air personality for over 30 years, as well as on the executive side in the radio business, and also has an expertise in this podcasting thing that all of us are trying to master in order to generate the funds that we need to continue to be a viable and sustainable community. So that's it. I'm out. See y'all Thursday.
I just want to mention it's noi.org/SD19. That's
Okay.
noi.org/SD19 for information about Savior's Day, February 15th through the 17th. You can purchase your tickets, get hotel information, registration information in the Awesome Children's Village. Until next week, inshallah.
Share this. Make sure you share this. Peace.
That's right.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu
Thank you all for tuning in.
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Assalamu alaikum.